right, we are back.
Hello.
Yes, episode 19.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, I know. We are almost all grown up now. We're in our almost in our 20s.
Almost 20s.
I know. We're still teenagers now, though, so it's our last time. Yeah, in our teenage podcast years.
Let's enjoy
this one, y'all. Thank you all for listening. We've had a blast putting these together.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
It's been a lot of fun. If you guys do have a passion out there and you're like looking to create something, this is my encouragement moment. Do it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Talk about it.
Yeah, we wanted to do this podcast for a long time, and we put it off, and then finally we were like, we're going to go just feet first and jump into this. So so have fun with us and enjoy. And that was just my encouragement to you. If you've got something that's on your heart and you want to create, then do it. That's kind of what it's the fun of art, and it's all fun. So just enjoy it.
It is for fun. I mean, this is something we always did off the mic.
Yeah.
We would talk about movies and how we would fix them and how we would make them better. And
now we're going to share that with everybody.
And we were always like, why didn't they do it that way? And now, we get to pose that question to all of you guys. So.
Right. So, when you're listening to these, hopefully you do have some ideas, and then you can pose those questions back to us about like, hey, have you thought about this? Because we would love to hear that stuff. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So this is episode 19. This is the Matt Damon movie from 2016, The Great Wall. It is
You stumbled a little bit through that introduction.
I know.
Yes.
Do you want me to do it again?
No.
Episode 19, 2016, The Great Wall. Okay, so I'll do the first. Okay, so you got to give me the background music. Okay, I'll do it. Ready and go. The Great Wall, 2016. Follows European mercenaries William, played by Matt Damon, and Tovar, played by Pedro Pascal, who journeyed to China in search of black powder during the Song Dynasty. How was that?
That was really intense.
Really intense. I felt it.
I actually did not remember what the theme music was, so I stuck to the two notes that I knew, and that was pretty epic. I feel like
that was. It just really sets up.
Yeah.
This podcast is what this does.
I feel like it fully engaged our audience.
They're like, oh my gosh, keep doing that, and we're like, next time, not now.
Next time we'll rehearse.
We'll rehearse it.
That's
beforehand.
Right.
So anyway, Matt Damon and Pedro, they really do. They just kind of happen upon the Great Wall of China. They just happen upon. They're like, oh,
they're looking for
the black powder.
Black powder that apparently they know what direction to go in. Right,
and they were searching for a long time, and they've lost a lot of people. And man, they finally kind of happen upon the wall.
This massive
fortress. This
wall that goes for miles.
Yes, but and it's protecting humanity from a horde of monstrous creatures known as the Tao Te.
Tao Tea?
Tea is what I was saying.
Tao Tea. I think that's how they said it. Tao Tea.
From here on I will be referring to as the creatures. Because I don't want to keep messing it up.
AKA creatures, AKA
the green,
monsters.
The green monster creatures.
AKA lizards.
Lizards, large lizards.
So those are all interchangeable.
Whatever it is. So here's the deal. They're kind of drawn into this conflict, and they know something bad's going down, right? Mm-hmm. And they join this Chinese elite order called the Nameless Order.
Cool name.
And it's led by Commander Lin, and she's totally awesome. She's actually I think she's really great in this. And they're defending the wall from these creatures as they're attacking, right? And as the siege kind of gets more intense, William and his allies have to either figure out, are they going to try to steal the black powder? Are they going to run away, or are they going to stay and fight?
Are they going to stay? Yeah.
Right. And kind of uncover the mystery of these creatures and, make those difficult choices, right?
Right. Do you engage in a battle that has nothing to do with you?
Right.
Or do you just take what you came for and leave?
Right. And so that's kind of the journey. And that's the storyline.
That's it.
These creatures. Yeah, that's it. These creatures are bad
Well, they're
news.
hungry. Apparently, they need.
Oh, they are hungry.
They need to feed on people.
And yeah, if they break through the wall, they will have enough food in
the people of the city
in China, right? To basically then cover and take over the entire globe.
Right.
No corner of the earth will be safe.
Right. So the wall is keeping them in this segregated area
because somehow they'll be able to swim, I guess.
Apparently.
I don't know.
This is ancient.
Yeah,
times,
they don't know. I don't know.
So we don't even know if they
knew
know about
yeah.
the other
because America's
part of
safe.
The other part of the world.
Like Hawaii's good. They're fine.
Yeah.
They're like the Tao what? Like they don't know.
Right.
Like the rest of the world's like, ah.
I mean, we don't know. They might be the most amazing swimmers.
They might be.
We don't even know.
They might be the best at swimming.
Sequel, hello.
The great underwall. The great surfers. I don't know. You just see them out there like on the surfboards going, that would be great.
The Great Rift.
The Great Pacific Rim. Wow, that's already been done.
Okay.
That's
Maybe
what
that's
that movie's about. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Tie-in. All right, we're
getting way off. All right.
Off track.
So what did we like? Visually, man, costuming and the sets. So this film was supposed to be a big Hollywood China tie-in. Like they were supposed to, let's link up. Let's link up.
Unite the clans.
The markets are big, and Hollywood knows this. That's why they do certain things in their movies to like make it appealing to China because it's a big market.
Yeah, they're billions and billions of viewers.
Of course. So that makes sense because one thing that I know that Hollywood loves, that money, right? So
that's pretty much the only reason they exist.
That's pretty much because they talk about the art, but you know what they love most? That money.
That moolah.
Yeah. So anyway, they were doing this thing and they wanted it to be amazing. And it was just kind of fizzled a little bit because they didn't really. I mean, they got really excited with Crouching Tiger, and they were like, "Whoa, baby!" And this could be.
Well, they definitely brought in the stars.
Oh yeah, they did
to handle this kind of epic, but unfortunately, they did not create a story for those stars to shine.
Right.
Matt Damon, Pedro Pascal.
They acted it well.
Willem
Dafoe. Yeah,
Holy
absolutely.
Cow. Why they wasted that character
on Willem?
We'll never know.
I know.
Because, he's a legend.
He is.
And that character that he
could have been a straight up
was
day player is what that could have been.
Could have been a local hire. Just meaningless. So they definitely had the talent.
Right.
And the Chinese cast I'm not familiar with. Maybe they're very well known.
They could be. But they were good. They were good no matter what.
Sure, they were good. So we liked the visuals.
The visuals were great.
It was beautiful. The
costumes were
was
sick.
amazing.
Absolutely sick.
Some of the choreography with the fight, the army was amazing.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong visually with the film. Sure. It was all story. And here we are once again.
Right.
I feel like talking about a film that kind of was like, well, we don't need a good story. The visuals will draw people
and
in.
not true. It's just not true.
Hollywood, stop
doing that.
Thinking that way. Yes, it's beautiful, but great visuals do not take the place of a great story.
Yeah. And
learn this lesson.
Yeah, it just keeps on kind of, almost it feels like we're on repeat now with so many of these films. It's like, oh, the story and oh, this but that's kind of the things that we hunt. You know, whenever we're doing these, most of them are going to deal with storylines that didn't quite hit.
Well, and a lot of them are movies that we had huge expectations for.
Right, and went to go see a lot of in the theaters.
I saw the trailer for this, and I was like, I
Boom.
cannot wait for this movie.
Yeah.
And then it just... bleh.
Yeah, you walked out going, I feel a little empty inside.
Yeah, it was pretty, but what?
Yeah.
What did I just watch?
So, my hot take misstep. All right. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Matt, brother... I don't know what you were trying to do with your accent here. good God.
What was that, Matt?
Actors do this all the time where they're like, I was going for a fantasy world where you could just do a big, wide, broad stroke and be like, here, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, everybody talks different in
the fantasy world.
This fantasy world.
Ugh. I don't know if it was an Irish or a skunk or like what he was going for.
I don't know.
But it was not good.
No, and sometimes it was there on certain words.
And other times.
And sometimes
not
it
at all. Wasn't. I just think that he was thinking, I'm going to do something different than this. And be like, why are you attacking? Like it was the most weird garbage.
It's like Father of the Bride when Martin Short was like, this is what I seduce.
I deduce. This is.
So we want the wedding. Okay, so we could understand, Matt. That was good, but it was just immediately we were like, huh?
Yeah.
And
why?
I felt like that impacted his character.
Yes, I agree.
Because we couldn't. I don't feel like we could get over it. Like
no.
I don't think we got over that
ever. Yeah. And here's what happens though. A lot of times in these movies, a director, especially if they're not necessarily established. I think this director was firmly established. However, stars will come in and go, I've got an idea. I really want to do this. What do you think if I talk instead of like this, where I'm just like a hero, I talk like this, and they are like, what do you say? And they're like, I think it will really be good for the character. What do you say?
Or maybe, here's another maybe. Maybe Matt's not good with accents. And the director was like, I don't want you to be American. I really, really, really need you to have an accent.
Something else.
But I don't do accents. Have you ever seen Matt Damon do an accent?
Well, I would have rather him do Boston than what he did.
Oh, yeah. Okay, he's done a Boston accent.
He's Boston. I mean, he is Boston.
Yeah.
He's there. But, like, I would rather him go,
I feel like it
how
was
you doing? Like, I'd rather him be like, hey, that with his New York. But, like, you get the idea. I really like... we
do not do accents.
He shoots the arrow. How about them apples? Right? That would have been better than I will. What do you do?
We can't even do it. It's like a. Bear with us, audience. We're trying to. Bear
down.
We're trying to hone in on this. It was almost like. It was almost like he was trying to be.
Scottish,
maybe,
Irish,
but not completely.
No, he wasn't like, because an Irish would be like.
I just had more of an accent. I feel like a better accent than he did.
An Irish would be like, they're coming for us, like, right? But he's like, they're coming for us. Like, it was so.
They're coming for us.
Oh, like.
It was like he was American for a minute, and then just like a word would pop in there.
Right.
When he just wasn't.
Okay, so let's jump in, and let's go for.
Yeah, let's jump in. I feel like we're already soaking wet. And swimming,
I know. We'll stay focused on this. It feels like we're just like going.
No, we won't.
Yeah, I know. It feels like.
Why'd you even say that?
I'm sorry.
You know we won't.
I know. All right. Well, Act 1. All right. The opening I felt was kind of confusing. It begins with William and Tovar, like they're running through the desert trying to escape these bandits.
William is Matt, by the way.
Yes.
Tovar is Pedro.
Right.
Okay, go.
Right.
Continue.
And they're hunting. They're looking for black powder, and they're being hunted by these bandits, and which is fine. It's a fine way for the adventure to start, but like again, kind of thematically, it doesn't really help the storyline. And then you go from that to immediately this monster fantasy because they're attacked by this monster. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like if you anchor like from the first frame, the myth of what's happening.
Right.
I think you need to dip yourself in the world building and the mythos of this world, which I'm going to talk about a lot because I say, honestly, that is the biggest issue in the entire film.
Yes.
The myth. The world building and the mythos of this
lore.
World.
They did not build the fantasy world. That they didn't immerse us in it. They didn't tell the history.
Which sounds
of this.
crazy because you're like, well, but they were
the
kind
whole film is.
but it's not. they told us basically nothing, which we will talk about in another point in just a second. But I'm just saying from the first frame, start with the visually striking prologue, okay?
So this is your fix.
The fix is got to be, they do shadow puppets or the ink brush animation that they did later.
Start
with that. Tell us the legend of these creatures and they were the punishment for human greed, right? And then as you're cutting to like the present where William and Tovar are like, they're stumbling into that myth.
Yeah.
And you see them even in that animated moment standing in front of the wall as these creatures are coming, right? But you're wasting our time with this garbage of like, oh, they're being hunted down by these bandits. And I'm like, dude, you take this time.
Yeah.
And, like you could say they fought through or whatever you need to say, but it didn't work. It didn't work for me. They could even be camped outside the wall, not understanding what it is, and something came in and attacked them, a pre-scout. They fought it off, and then they drug them in because they saw that they fought this thing off. And then you're right back to where you started. But doing this thing about bandits and stuff was just a waste of time.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think they should have began with the history of the wall and the creatures, drawn us into the world so that we're already like immersed in kind of like the mythology of what's going on.
Right.
And we're sort of taking the plunge.
Right. So the next one, and this is it. This is the biggest thing I think of the whole film. The film seems to not want to world build, right? For such I feel like an amazing premise, which is the wall wasn't built to keep out the invaders. It wasn't to keep out the Huns or the, Genghis at all. No, it wasn't to keep them out. It was actually to keep out these monsters.
Right.
And when you take an idea that we know, and then you flip it on its head and you go, well, this is really what it was for.
This is,
I love
it was great.
that.
It's a great idea.
I love that kind of stuff. So there's no reason to like apologize for it. I think you jump head in. So this is the fix. And this is the biggest one of the whole thing because really it needs all of this stuff. You lean into the mythology and the culture and what makes this special, okay? You show us the wall being, still worked on and designed, and it's been a work in progress for 20 generations.
Right.
And it's this big fortification, yes, but it's more than just arrows and blades and, the flaming balls of hate that come out.
Right.
But I want to go even deeper. Like, I want to see, like, supernatural defenses. I want to see them, like, doing these, like, almost spells that they're doing. And that, like, it and shoots them back. And it, like, you've already got this fantasy thing. Jump in.
Yeah.
Jump into it,
I
right?
agree. I think the wall needs to be more than just a setting.
Right.
More than just a set piece.
Right. which we talk a little bit about that in another issue because it's so important. I made it a separate issue, but you're right. Like, you show it as this important symbol, right? And then you show it being passed down generation to generation of these defenders and their stories and their lore and how they train.
Right.
And because the wall isn't just like, oh, I'm just going to jump off and these people know they're foot soldiers and archers. No. Because it's different because you're fighting vertically, not horizontally.
Right.
This is a whole new style of fighting.
Right.
And so, like, showing them how to run the wall and showing them how to, like, this is a big deal. And that's the lore that I want to see. Right?
Right.
And I want to see these, like, supernatural spells being told, and it's like, and it shoots these things, and it can, like, take one of them and crush them, and, like, it encapsulates one of the creatures and squeezes them, and, like, cool things like that.
Very cool.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah, but draw us in, help us to know that we're not just in, ancient China that we know.
We know it's a different...
It's a different land, a
deep
different...
folklore
and... Yeah.
Right. You transformed it to the world that we know to something beyond.
Right.
And that would have been so much cooler to see right? Then it's not just a generic monster movie. It's an epic myth telling, world building story that you want to see more of.
Right. It's not just Independence Day.
Right.
It
right.
becomes,
Right, yeah.
Harry Potter.
An immersive world that has all these amazing things that are happening.
Right.
Right. And that's really the biggest thing. You've got to world build beyond just pulling them in and talking about black powder. Boo.
Yeah.
There you go. So, which leads to the next issue I've got. The weak character motivation for these, Tovar and William.
Yeah.
Their whole thing is, and I disagree with saying that one of the biggest, motivators is greed. I've almost always disagree with it. Almost every time I'm like, oh, is that strong enough? Really?
It's not. It's such a weak. Character arc,
right.
But it's easy. It's easy because you're like, well, all I have to do to have this main character grow is to have him start out being selfish and greedy.
And then
finding a purpose beyond himself later.
Right.
But it just, this idea that all of our heroes have no sense of purpose and they happen to stumble into purpose.
Right.
There has to be more of it.
That's
more
the key
to them.
Absolutely. And it's harder to write, and that's why I think a lot of writers take the easier way out and go like, oh, they're greedy. They just want the black powder.
They just want the money.
But then later, they're like, for example, whenever Matt is like, hey, all of a sudden I'm going to fight for these people. And we're like, why?
It doesn't track.
It doesn't track because we're like, why? And then even on screen, the character that is his partner is like, why are you doing?
Tovar's
they call themselves out on their own script.
Tovar's like, this is very unlike you.
And we're all like, yeah, I guess
it is, because at that point again, he's we know nothing about this culture.
Right.
It's just she talks a little bit about trust.
Tiny bit about it.
She takes him to the top of the wall. They had to defend themselves against one of the creatures, but really they haven't established anything, and then all of a sudden this guy that's totally selfish and has been motivated by greed and survival his whole life is suddenly like, I think this is where I need to be right now.
Right. And it doesn't make sense.
I need to jump into this battle. What in the world would motivate anyone to jump into a battle against a horde of creatures?
I would be running.
That have nothing to do with you.
Yeah, I'd be out of there.
If you are just a selfish mercenary.
Right. The audience never feels emotionally invested because the greed is too weak of a motivator.
It's so weak.
And also, with this one, I kind of also don't love that Matt was the answer to and fix of all the problems.
Yeah.
They were like, man, we've been doing this for 20 generations, but I'm sure glad Matt showed up. He figured it all out. Thanks, brother.
Thank God William was here.
Oh, stop it. Oh, God. William, we need ya. It's just, it does not work. It does not work. For a fix, give William more of a deeper wound emotionally that he needs to fix. He's been this disillusioned warrior. He talks about all the things he fought for and the banners he fought under that didn't mean anything to him because he fought for money. And he's like, maybe he started off different. Like he had this thing but he forgot it. Right.
Yeah.
And then as he starts battling with the Great Wall, because he sees them under siege and really could benefit from his help. At first, maybe he was just trying to save himself, but he helped somebody and he saw the gratefulness in their eyes. And maybe somebody pushes him out of the way and saves him, right?
Or maybe we see flashbacks from when he was a kid and he had a mentor, somebody that tried to teach him the right way, and he's strayed from that. And now he's hearing the echoes of that person's voice in this army.
Yeah, so the losing of faith in humanity starts to come back when the Great Wall becomes his chance for redemption. Right? And Commander Lin's belief in him is it's kind of transforms him into more than a mercenary, right? And kind of a believer then of what they're doing.
Which they tried a little bit, but
not anywhere close.
Yeah, but his
Again,
motivation and character was so weak at the beginning that the growth didn't make sense.
Right. And then also for Matt, he should have been a piece of the problem, of the solution to the issues there, but not all of them. And right. And so I feel like he could have learned as much as he taught.
Yes.
Right? So if he was like, hey, let me show you this thing. And then he's like, oh, that's interesting. How did you do that? And they're like, oh, it's this and this and this. Let me show you how to.
And he adds that to what he already
knows. Right.
Can do.
Right. But like, he was like, oh, you hook them like a whale. And oh, you have to do this. And
not so much tension. And oh, here's the magnet that I brought that happens to be the key to destroying.
To success. It was so silly. Like, he can't be the answer to all of it. He should have been learning from them as much as he taught. So that's my thing. All right, Act 2. The wall. The wall felt like a backdrop, but not the character that I wanted it to be. Mm-hmm. Okay? For a movie titled The Great Wall, it surprisingly had little to do with the narrative at all. It really did. It was cool. It was cool.
I mean, and they showed a couple cool things
that happened. Agreed. Like the blades coming out and
the blades coming.
That was all cool stuff.
More.
Yes.
Give me more. That's
exactly right. It had no personality. It's just a strategic importance of just being a big barrier.
Right.
Right. And the fighters and the weapons that they use was like really focused, but the wall needs to be a focus, I feel, of everything.
And we never really grasped the scope.
The scope. It was just one little section.
It was just this one section where everything was. And I get maybe the creatures attack mainly at this one section.
Yeah.
But we should have seen. This was a
massive wall, right?
Massive wall. We needed to see the scope and the scale of.
Absolutely.
The history of what's gone into the building of this.
Right, and how they maintain it. Even like showing different levels in the centuries of the different kind of bricks, and like that's the first century, that's the second, because it was built up. Because at the first thing, these creatures weren't really that strong, because over the centuries they got stronger and stronger and stronger, so they had to keep building and making it more intense. So for a fix, this wall should be a living character, a living fortress. Each section, its own specialized defenses. We talked about like the flamethrowers and the movable gadgets and the shifting platforms and the black powder cannons and the magic areas that like cause the border to like vibrate and shift and crush and destroy and all those things. The focus has to be the wall, right?
Yeah.
And we get a wide shot of it like almost looking like it's breathing. Like how cool that would have been to be way back as the creatures charge forward into the foreground or to the background, and you see the wall in the background like moving and flames coming out of it.
Right.
That would have looked sick.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I would have loved to see.
Yeah, make it more than just a border.
Right.
A barrier.
Right.
Make it an actual weapon, like the wall itself is a weapon
against the weapon. Which we're gonna do like a little shift one. Here's a little bonus fix, okay? Mm-hmm. And we talked about this before, but there was an issue at the very beginning. Do you remember when Matt and Pedro were like camping because they did that silly little being chased, and they came from one side of the wall.
Yeah.
Right, the painted desert side area.
So in the film there's
two sides.
Two sides of the wall. There's the side that the creatures are on.
Right.
And the whole goal is to keep those creatures on that side. And then there's the other side, which is like desert and leads to all the people and blah blah blah.
And it's painted and it looks beautiful.
That's the side that William and Tovar come from.
Right?
But they were attacked by a creature.
By a random creature.
One random creature. And it didn't make any sense because then they pull into the wall and the army is like, what have you, where did you
find it?
Where did you find this creature?
2 days ago in the mountains.
They're coming earlier than we thought. He's not even on the side.
They're coming earlier than we thought, and they're on the other side already.
And they're already on the other side where the people are.
No. That's a problem.
It was a major issue. We mentioned it.
Yeah.
We were like, wait, what?
How did it get over on that side?
Why is it by itself? This is like apparently some kind of horde
hive. It's a hive mind thing.
As it should be.
All creatures must be hive mind.
Every creature / alien.
Every monster has hive mind. The end. Just accept it. Deal with it. Deal with it.
It has been spoken.
It has been said. Right. But yeah, it was by itself for some stupid reason, and on the other side of the wall.
Yeah,
for some
I think
other
that was
stupid
actually
reason.
my hot take, but we got so sidetracked by Matt's accent, that we skipped over my hot take. But yeah, my hot take was, where did this one monster come from, and how did he get on the wrong side?
He's just a loner.
And why were they not more concerned about this?
Yeah, they were kind of cool with like, oh, he's on that side. Nah, he's a loner. He just jumped over. It's all good.
And it was pretty obvious which side the monsters were on. Like the mountain was like glowing green.
Yeah, it was devastation.
It was like
and
dark
black
and charred.
Yeah.
It was very different than the other side.
Yeah, got to fix that, folks. Next problem: the monsters. They kind of lacked a personality. It was just generic CGI. No emotional depth in the characters at all.
The monsters?
Yeah, the monsters. Yeah, they swarm, they die, they're gone. That's it. Yeah, and it never really feels any kind of tension because the enemy isn't really that interesting. They're just not. It's just a hive mind, the end, and that's what it is.
Yeah, it's basically like a wild animal, except they talk about how intelligent they are.
Yeah.
And obviously they try to show them like learning and adapting. But at the end of the day, they're really just like snapping like alligators at anything that moves.
So here's for a fix. We introduce some more intelligent creatures, right?
Yeah.
That are capable of strategy, limited communication, not just the queen. They're like the generals of the army that are like commanding their troops in different areas.
Yeah.
And like, because the thing is, because they did say it was, they were learning. Well, let them learn from the humans. They saw the generals do this, and there's one leader, yes, but their generals are doing different things, and they're copying that.
Right.
That would have been really cool to see them copying, right?
Yeah.
It kind of elevates then the creatures from the mindless beast into a kind of a reflection of the story and the story of the core idea, which is unchecked ambition consumes itself. You know, greed goes too far, we're in a problem. And that's kind of, you know, where I think that they could have done a little bit better job with the monsters.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. And they become dangerous not just because there's so many of them, but because they're smart.
Yeah, they're figuring it out. Next, we learn that magnets basically stop these creatures.
Yeah.
Why do we not invest in more magnet technology? Oh, I don't know.
Hello.
The magnets basically stop them, and then we're like, cool. And they do everything else other than getting more magnets.
More magnets.
Dude, just go get more magnets. You got some on the fridge? I got you. You know what I mean?
Magnetize the wall. What are we talking about here, people? Yeah, that was kind of a weird...
Yes.
A weird plot. But just either leave the magnet out completely from the story.
Right. Or use the heck out of it. Right.
Find a way, once you know that the magnet is what works,
right,
that they don't just hang it in a cage of one of the one
and that's it
of the creatures. Like they start to magnetize
everything. That's right. And I if they were like, oh, you just ruin the story and it's ended, they figure a way. You know what I mean? So that's the fix. Look, they should have been retrofitting everything with magnets. If they learn that, because part of it also came from like this 900-year-old manuscript. There was like, oh, there was a magnet that stopped it. And
it's not like they didn't know this before.
They were like,
they pull out this 900-year-old
and
text,
read it, right?
And they're like, oh, the magnet seemed to stop.
And then
creatures.
They just forgot that was a thing.
They set it aside. They were like, we'll put a pin in that.
They never came back.
And we'll come back to that.
To the thing that stops the biggest threat to survival.
Right.
We'll come back to that.
It's not like they discovered it with William and Tovar. Like they
knew
they were
about
like,
it.
oh, hey, I remember something.
Oh,
you have
magnets?
a magnet? Wait, I remember something about a magnet. I think they wrote about it like 20 generations ago.
They had an answer, but they just ignored it. And then they did it again. They have the answer, and they're like, we'll put a pin in that magnet information.
Yeah.
They just don't seem to want to figure
we'll use
out.
it to subdue this one creature.
That's it.
And then we'll do nothing else.
Yeah, they look.
Either use it or lose it.
I say they use it, which leads, if they're doing they've got to change things up. It goes into my favorite thing of all, training montage.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they're training Matt, and he's learning how to use these new magnetic things.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be so cool, right? That's where I'm at.
Right. I mean,
I
he
love
does.
Me a
right.
training
we know.
montage.
We love the training montage.
I love it.
He does one cool trick with his, bow
Bows
and arrows.
to catch a
This
cup.
would have been a great moment. Yeah, to show him as like this heroic,
really talented. Right,
Yeah.
right. And then he could even train with the Crane Corps, right, with Lee there, and earn the respect of them, and like get a little badge, like a little Boy Scout. He's an honorary Crane.
He gets to wear the cape.
Yes.
The Crane cape.
It would have been cool. It would have been really fun. I think that would be a really cool fix. So
Yeah.
There you go. Act 3, a big CGI, little payoff. The battle felt really small because they moved away from the wall
Why?
to the palace.
Why?
And it just shrunk the scope of the film's grand premise, right? The result was anticlimactic and disconnected from the story's title and promise of the Great Wall.
Yeah.
And, again, like most hives, kill the queen, the rest die. The end. Great Wall, Independence Day, live, die, repeat. It's all the same.
Yep.
Kill the queen, they all just fall away just like sleepy dominoes.
Yep. They
Because,
lose their
okay.
minds and become total drones. I
don't get it. What a terrible flaw. What character, like, if they're that advanced, like, the worst flaw, it should at least be like, we killed the queen. Good thing we have a secondary queen that could take the spot like that.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, only one can be queen. That's the end.
Well, listen, I mean, if you're going to figure out what defeats them,
Right.
then they don't have to necessarily have a hive mind because you know how to defeat
Right.
multiple
Exactly.
creatures.
Exactly. So here's my fix for the finale. Keep it on the wall.
Yes.
Why?
It should have been at the wall.
They're figuring out how to overcome some of the magnetic stuff. They're fighting with the magnetic tech and they're overcoming it. And in some places, and then the queen leads this coordinated final siege. Imagine like in the moonlight and the fog, and they're all and the fire's flaming over the top of it, and they're fighting through it. It would have been so cinematic and beautiful. And William and Lynn, they kind of execute a desperate strategy that turns the wall itself into a weapon.
Yep.
And the massive chain reaction of the black powder, the thing that they came was selfishly in the greed, that they use that and it starts to destroy the wall. And it's blowing up the sections where they've overrun it. And the wall itself, the thing that they had the most pride in, the thing that they thought was going to save them, it does. It does save them. Mm-hmm. It blows up and destroys.
But not without sacrifice.
Not without sacrifice. And even now, like, that's kind of the thing. Like, we know parts of the wall had been destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be like, well, that's why. That's where they were overrun. And the last stand of these creatures, right? And William is there and then Lynn sacrifices herself to ensure victory.
Yeah.
And she and William sees that, like, what she would do to save her people, to save the world, she would take that sacrifice. And William survives. But then he carries that the Crane signature, insignia with him.
Right.
To remind himself of the sacrifice, of what it means to go beyond yourself and not be selfish and not be greedy, but to, like, do something beyond.
He finds his purpose.
Right,
again.
right. Which kind of finishes his arc out, is what it does. So it's, then this beautiful, mythical, tragic story, and it's cinematic then also.
Right. And you notice we didn't talk much about Tovar, sorry.
Tovar.
Pedro.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about him and Willem.
Yeah.
Because they were their little side plot of, like, trying to escape
was
and then
stupid.
getting caught it literally just was a
It
distraction
was a bad distraction.
from the film. Like, it was unnecessary.
Right.
And even in our fixes, I think it would have just been gone. Like
Right.
that story would not even
Right.
have happened.
I think for those things, you focus more on the characters, the emotional arc of all the characters, and especially William, because he's gotten to know Lynn, and when she dies, it really matters, right? Because then his redemption is earned. Because right now, he gets to the end of the film, and it's kind of like, he was a good fighter, and he stayed a good fighter, and he stayed, but his lesson was basically reduced to one line of dialogue: "You got to trust, be trusting," and he's like, "Good." But he should have had moments of question and moments of failure throughout this whole thing, and where he's choosing. Maybe there was a moment where he thought, "I should escape," where Tovar and Willem are like, Willem is like, "I stayed because I know what they're doing, right? I know what these people are going through, and I want to help them, and I want to get out." Because again, you made greed important; it turned stupid. But maybe he thought about it. But he turned back and said, William said, I can't do this. I can't do this to the people that have opened up to me. I do need to do this.
And then his best friend should stick with him.
Right.
And if you're going to have a best friend, that best friend needs to help you find your purpose, not try to pull you away from it.
But I was thinking about, like, what it would be cool is even if there was a moment whenever he did question should he stay or not, that it cost somebody's maybe their life or hurt really bad, like that guy that was in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That he tells him, he's like, you're stronger than you think you are,
you're
and whatever.
Braver. Yeah, you're braver than
maybe it costs him his life. It would have been really a powerful moment, and that could be his turning point, where like he was questioning and he leaves the post and he like is looking at the powder and deciding, should I do this? And he's like, the boy was covering for him, but he got caught up. One of the creatures got through the wall and killed him, and he was like, the boy. Could you imagine that monologue where he's like, "Did I do good?" Like that. You're like, "Oh my gosh,
was I brave?
Was I brave enough to do?" That would have been really cool. And then he saw like, "Oh, I can't turn my back on these people again for greed ever again."
Right.
That'd have been really good. And his redemptive story,
life-changing.
right? And that's what you focus on, right? You tell those stories when you cut out all these stupid side stories that don't matter.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's it. We went through it all. I know there was a lot there, but
that was a lot. This was a long one.
It was a long one. I did like a lot about this film, but I do think that the story has to be thicker and more beautiful. The Great Wall, overall, I don't think it needed saving from monsters. It needed saving from kind of a weak storyline.
Yeah, definitely.
And it could have been and should have been all about the wall.
Yeah.
If it was all about the wall, then the movie would have, I felt, really been strong.
Yeah.
Really, truly, because the premise is awesome.
Yep.
But they told another story, and it didn't quite work.
It did not. Yep. We needed more magic, more, and by magic, I don't mean necessarily magic, but we needed more of this kind of magical, fantastical world.
Yeah.
We needed a hero that had true motivation,
right,
and a true change of heart.
It could have been a lot stronger.
And
it could have been a lot stronger.
I think it would have been a great story.
So that's all we've got, guys. I hope you enjoyed that one. We do these because we love them, and we hope that you enjoy listening. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.